Is it on? Okay, great. So this morning we're at 1 Million Cups, and we're live streaming it into our 1 Million Cups Mishawaka Facebook page. So if you want to see it again because you're so amazed by it, you can go back there and watch it, and it's for everyone who couldn't come. So anyways, this is our networking toolbox. So we're going to be using this today, and I'll just put it right here so we will know when to get to it. So let's see, go this way. Okay, great. So has anyone in here ever been coached by me to like do a 1 Million Cups PowerPoint? No. Okay, this is great.
I mean, I've been yelled at by you a lot.
Well, no.
I mean, coached. Sorry.
Coach,
Coached.
yeah.
Coached.
Well, we always talk about when you do a 1 Million Cups presentation, we always tell you, like, identify the problem. That's the first thing, right? So talk about yourself, and then tell us why you're qualified to do that business, and then tell us the problem, and then tell us the solution. So I've actually grown accustomed to that format, and I love it. So I was afraid someone would come this morning that I had coached, and I didn't follow the format. So I kind of followed it. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I didn't have to do that. So anyway, this is me showing you that I'm qualified to do this presentation. Good morning.
Good morning.
And this is my credentials for this presentation. So can you see? So basically, the problem I saw was in 2009, 2010, I had always heard a lot about when you're starting your own business, it's good to network. And when you take a class at IUSB in 2010, it was called Networking 101, and you basically learn how to play golf. That was networking.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, the other place you would hear a lot about networking was at the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe like you go to like a networking event, but nobody really even knew what that was. And so I would start with researching my topic, and what I found is when you look up networking, it would say how to hook up computers. So there really wasn't a lot out there about networking. There was a little bit about Business Networking International, BNI. Ivan Eisner was one of the starter of that organization. And he talked about when you meet someone, you're actually meeting 250 of their friends. So each person in here, to me, I see you and 250 of your friends who are possible referrals to me. So that's what I learned from Ivan Eisner. He has some books out there if you'd like to learn about it. And he has not only the organization, but he talks about a way of networking. And so that was where I started. And the problem I saw was I didn't know anything about networking. So if you, what is it? Your network is worth your net worth. And like the more networking associations you have or associates, the more money you'll make. And the wider your range of business knowledge. I mean, we've all read all that or heard about it somehow, like over the years. And so that's kind of where I started. So I started, for me, learning to teach me how to network. So this is kind of how I got started. I was already had 40 years of business. So, but the business that I didn't require networking. So I didn't have to learn how to do that. Then I launched my entrepreneur business on 2019 or 19 something. Anyways, I'm at 19, right? So anyways, in 2010, after I learned about networking, I wrote a book about it. I taught some classes about it, and I thought other people needed to learn about it since they didn't know about it. So I was going to teach them, and I think this is true for everyone. If you can take whatever you do and turn it into a process, then you could follow that process and it'll work for you every single time, and you can teach someone else that same process. So I actually challenged that. I knew some people that lived in Washington State, and I taught them how to go to networking events and how to make friends and help find people to help them with their business. So I could actually talk someone through the process. So I knew that it worked. So then I got all excited about it, and I launched 4 different networking groups. And then one of the networking groups, right, you get all excited about it? While I was doing my business. And then one of the networking groups, we actually launched 8 chapters. So I was getting pretty good about it. We were, attracting a lot of people, seemed to be working, and it was really actually a lot of fun. And I really learned how to hone my skills and networking by doing all of that. So that kind of helped me. Then I wrote a book about it. I actually wrote a couple books about it. I'm going to check my networking toolbox right here. A second. You need a lot of things for networking, you know what I'm saying? So the first thing that happened is I met this guy, Lee Saltz, on, guess what? Facebook. And he was creating a really amazing organization that was building towards writing this book. And in this book are 20 authors. And because I got to know him, I saw how he built his business. So I learned how to build a business online through Lee. And then he wrote this book and asked 20 authors to contribute. And then I was one of the authors that he asked. So the most important chapter in this book is chapter 9 on networking. So this kind of launched me into sort of my author career. And then around the same time, I met Keith Schrock. And this was the material that I was using for helping the people in the Expo for Women market their business for the Expo. So he said, you should write a book about it. And I'm like, listen, it took me 6 months to write 1,000 words. Like, I don't think I could do it. And he said, sure you can, let's do it. So we wrote this book on marketing. And of course, in here is a chapter on networking. And then this guy said, we need you to write a companion book, because you know when you buy a book, you buy all these thousands of other things. So I wrote this book. So I said, well, I wrote everything I know for you in this book. And he said, well, just make it shorter. So this is this book. So that's kind of how, so that all happened out of networking. So I want you to understand what happens in networking. It does a lot of great things. Does it help you find a job? Yes, there are people in this room that have found jobs by coming to this meeting. Does it help you make business partners? Yes, it helps you make business partners. Does it help you connect to other people? Remember, every time you talk to someone, they're sitting on 250 people. Like that's why you come to network. So then the key is just how to be ready for that. Because it's for the people in here who said they don't like presentations, every single time you talk, you're doing a presentation. That's why you don't like networking. Let's talk about it. So what networking is relationship building. That's what it's always been to me. Back in the day, it was more selling. So you would go to like a chamber event and someone would walk up to you and tell you like everything you don't want to know about their business. And then they would give you their card and go to somebody else and then tell you everything else you don't want to know. And so that's what networking sort of has an idea of. It's sort of like bankers. They have a banker here, so it's sort of like nobody likes to go to a banker because what do they want? All your money. Nobody wants to go to a sale. No, it's not true. Just saying. So what about everybody who is a car salesman? No one likes that silly kind of thing going on. So networking has kind of moved from that in many cases, from that kind of thing to creating a relationship. So it's confusing, like, what do you mean create a relationship? What is that, really? So what it really is making friends. That's really what it is. So in the beginning, I thought I had to connect to everybody. Like everybody I need to have coffee with, everyone I need to meet. And then I sat in some really horrible 1-hour coffee meetings. And I thought, if I have to spend 2 more minutes with this person, I'm gonna like throw up. You know, I know you've had those meetings. And so it's really more about making friends. So when you talk to somebody, if they seem like someone you could be friends with, or they have some information you want, so that's the other piece, then that would be a person to talk to. So just kind of keep that in mind. So for example, that's one of the reasons why I like kind of work the room. Because I'm like, oh, who's nice, who's not nice, who's nice to me, who do I feel like is nice, like who would be nice to get to know more about, what are they doing, or are they doing something I want to know more about, like Jordan. He's a non-medical person running a medical clinic. So I would like to know more about that. How does that work? So later we'll talk. So maybe. And so just kind of keep that in mind. So also another thing that happens is they always say, well, it's who you know. Isn't that right? Well, here's the problem with who you know. Once you get to know someone, they don't like you. I mean, listen, it's over. So is it who you know, or is it who knows you? So it is who you know, and who knows you, and who likes you, who respects you, who wants to be around you, who wants to spend time from you, who wants to learn from you. It's who you know, yes, and who knows you. Okay, so always remember that. So if you get somewhere and you're in a place where someone's important, like Mayor Dave Wood or Mayor James Mueller, they're at the same thing you're at, just sashay yourself right on over there and say, can I have a picture with you? And now it becomes not only who knows you, but who you know. Okay, so keep that in mind. Or anyone else that you see has a measure of influence, then that's the person you want to be seen with, right? You want to be seen with them. You want to stay visible. That's important. Okay? Good? Okay, next. So why is it important? So I think we kind of pretty much already covered that, but here's the thing. In this environment that we're in right now, a lot of businesses are going out of business. Actually, you don't even know who's going out of business because they just go out so fast and then they disappear. So what happens is if you, let's say for example, Ryan and I, we meet each other, we network, we do this thing together, we both like it. We're both trying to, support the economic, the ecosystem for entrepreneurs. We have a lot of great ideas. And Ryan works at GMC Mortgage, and then he quits that job. So if I only know Ryan through that mortgage company, or I only have his work email, or only have his phone number from there, when he leaves that place, he's gone to you, unless he reaches out to me. But then again, if I only use my work phone number on my work email address, then I'm gone too. So it's always important when you're building a strong network to get people's personal phone numbers, personal emails, in case you lose track of each other, if it's somebody that you really want to stay connected to. So if you want the slide presentation, just send me scan the QR code and we'll get it to you. So the outline is kind of here, but also the things I talk about aren't really on the slides. So anyway, the next piece is about networking. So how does it actually work? So what I did is actually one of my books. It talks about how I met people. So let's see, where's that little point? Is this the
Laser? Laser. It's pretty small. It's pretty small.
Pretty small? Maybe not. Ah! Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is me, okay? So over here, this is the example of what happened. So this is me, and then I met someone named Charisse, she's in this community, who introduced me to Lee, right here, and Lee connected me to his book situation, and also I did online seminars and webinars, and then this led to all the other books that I wrote. So really, Charisse and I were great friends, great work friends, also supporters, also she was a great mentor to me, and so by knowing her, she just coincidentally mentioned, oh, I met Lee on the internet, and about what he was doing. And so then I met Lee, and she goes, oh, just send him a Facebook message. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So anyways, it works. And so anyways, I published the book. So if you look over here, for example, 2, it's right here. So we start with me, then B. So I went to a ladies networking luncheon, and I was sitting next to Susan Vance, who worked for St. Mary's at that time. And then she started part of St. Mary's, the Women's Entrepreneur, what is it, W-E something? I can't remember. But anyway, the Women's Entrepreneur piece of St. Mary's College, which also now has Spark. And then because I met Sue, she introduced me to Martha, who was in charge of the program. And then she said, oh, I love what you're doing. Would you come and speak at Spark, which is where I was. And then the next thing that happened is I'm over here, and I actually spoke at a big business seminar, like a big speaking engagement. But it came out of this.
Great example.
That's crazy. Okay, so then next. All right, so where to network? So I always say every opportunity is a networking opportunity. And I love connecting people. The whole kind of idea around networking is that you create value around yourself. So I don't know if you've heard about personal branding and what that's all about, but you really are creating about yourself. So people want to be with you because they know somehow you're going to help them. So yesterday I had a coffee date with one of my mentoring students, and she had lost her job and she's been out of work for 6 months, and she's a past student. And she sat down with me and she said, oh man, this is what's going on with me. I need to find a job. Well, I'm not an employment agency, but I do know a lot of people. So I started thinking, oh, right here, Nikita. I said, you need to meet her, and you need to meet her, and you need to meet him. And you know what? Maybe this thing will turn into something else. And when she came, she said, I felt hopeless. And now we've had our meeting. I have 20 things to do on my list that's going to help me find a job. So really, I mean, that's what you're looking for, is a way to create value to other people in a way you can. So what I do is I automatically start thinking, how can I help the person I'm in front of? So it's because I know if they like me, right, trust me, respect me, and I add value to them, they're going to want to be friends with me. And then whatever I think they have that can help me, then we'll do that. So one of the things that happened to me was I was in a BNI meeting, and there was a woman in there, Cheryl, who had a blog, like a blog talk radio, and a radio station. And I thought, radio station? Wow, wouldn't it be cool to have a radio station? Like, how do you do that? Does anybody know? She knew how. So after the meeting, I went up to her and I said, I want to learn how to make a radio station. And do you want to improve your health? Because I can totally help you do that. Yeah. So we started meeting once a month. I gave her things she could do for her health. She talked to me about how to get myself on the radio. And then we liked each other. And we said, I think if we just keep meeting, we're going to figure out how to do something together. But we have to keep meeting because, life keeps moving along. There's a trajectory there. And after meeting about 6 months, once a month for a coffee, giving her little health tips, she's talking to me about a radio. So Twitter launched an idea called Tweet Up. Do you guys remember that? It was Tweet Up. Shoot, I'm aging people. Okay, so Tweet Up was a live meetup for people who are on Twitter, and it was all around social media. So she and I said, I know what, why don't we have Tweet Ups at bars, and we'll invite people who know about social media to come speak, and we'll learn about social media. And that's what we did. So we did it for 2 years. It was a great stint. I learned a lot about social media. So what's a good place to network? Every single place you go. Does anybody here go to church? That's a good place. Does anybody have kids in sports? That's a good place. This, if you come 4 times, is a good place, right? 4 times a month. If you belong to a men's group, a ladies group, go play golf, right? That's networking. Go to a seminar, any place you go. Listen, I've met people standing in the produce aisle at the grocery store. Someone comes up to me and says, tell me about this fruit. And then we get a conversation going and we go have coffee. So anywhere is a place, okay? And just so you know, when I started all this, it was not friendly. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure you'd want to be my friend. So I had to learn how to be friendly and interested. So if you're sitting there going, I could never do that, ever. Okay, so I don't know about you, but my life has been very long. So you can learn how to do new things. And you can learn how to be friendly. There's all kinds of books out there. As a matter of fact, I was so adverse to being friendly. I have a friend who's very friendly. And I said to her, how do you meet people? She goes, well, I'm just standing in line for coffee and I start talking to somebody. Or I'm just this one place. Or I go to the chamber meeting or the BNI or whatever. And I just start talking and people talk to me back. This is it. I honestly said, can I follow you around for a couple of days and see how that rolls out? So I just say, you're welcome to come to anything I do. So let's talk about how to network effectively. Hi, come on in, sign in, please. And so the big part of networking is to plan for it. That's key. How to build your confidence is to plan. You gotta plan, okay? So let's talk about how to plan, how to pack, and how to prepare. So these are the 7 tools that we're going to go through. Yeah. It's on your worksheet. So this is basically the 7 tools I kind of narrowed it down to. And so the first one is your business card. So the old version, which was 7 nuts and bolts in your networking toolbox, have a business card. But now people use other things besides business cards. But let me just tell you, if you have a business card, you want to bring it with you. There we go. So I brought a few. And then on your business card, think of it as a little traveling billboard. So this is a billboard about you. And you could use this side as a billboard too. So if I'm busy doing an event, you'll see I'll print up cards that have this billboard, and then on the back it has all about the event, so that you have that too. Also, so on my business card, I have what I do. So for the Women's Entrepreneur Initiative, it involves entrepreneurship, mentorship, and health and wellness. That's what I do. So you might want to consider putting on your business card what you do or what thing you belong to. So I have another business card that says I'm a board member of the Mishawaka Business Association and the other things I'm part of. So you would have, in a sense, 2 business cards, one that talks about what you do, and then the other one that talks about what you're doing. Because depending on who you're in front of will depend on what business card you want to do. Could you hand him a handout? Did everybody get a handout? Just make sure. So is that your business card? So the other thing that happened to me was I had a gentleman give me his business card, and we said, hey, let's meet for coffee. I'll call you, and we'll do something. And so he's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So I called the phone number, it was disconnected.
Oh.
I emailed the email, bounced back. I went to the website, it was closed. I'm just saying, have your business card reflect a way for someone to get a hold of you. And if they can't use something that's on your business card, just line it out. Listen, I used to be really weird about my business card, like it has to be perfect. It does not need to be perfect. It's a communication device. So if it's not up to date, you don't have to tell me your business card's not up to date. Just mark it out and say that's not the best way. So in a networking event, you want to make sure that you have your business cards on you all the time. So let me get dressed for that. Hold on a second. Can make a music. Okay, so now, what do I have here? Pockets. Oops. So you want to put, a healthy stack of business cards in your pocket. So if you're a gentleman, you have, suit coats that you can put. You also have the inside pocket. Also, you have shirts that have pockets on them. Also, you have this pocket back here. Ladies, too. If you choose to, ladies, or men, I guess I should say, you could carry a purse, like a smallish purse or little, what do you call these now? Fanny packs or whatever you call them.
They're making a comeback.
They're making a comeback with a new name, I think. But anyways, you want to put it there. You don't want to be having a big bag like this to dig through to get your business cards, take out everything, like you don't want to be having that. You want it slick. So if I meet someone, so I'll say, so the etiquette says you should not just give your business card. They should ask for it. So always remember, now that you know, you should ask for someone's business card. So what I do is I ask them for their business card first. And there's a lot of times people go, well, what's your business card, right? So also, if I'm wanting to network with them, their business card is more important to me than it is mine to them, right? So I take their business card and I put it on the other side. So now you have a continuous thing where you do this. It's a lot smoother unless you forget what you're doing and you take out someone else's business card.
I have done that.
It's good when you recognize it. I've actually had it where I don't recognize it. I've done that. Also, sometimes people don't have business cards or don't have a way for you to collect their information, or you don't have a way. So just take one of your business cards and have them write their information on the back, and then take the front and scribble that out so you don't give it to someone else, because I've kind of done that too. And so and then put it over here because it's their business card.
Great ideas.
Okay, so then the next thing is, let's see, I think that's business cards. Is there something? Oh, electronic business cards, right? So that's the other piece. So a lot of people are using electronic business cards. These are the most common: dot, popo, and hello. Hi, hello. Those are the most common. And all of them make a little QR code so that people can scan it. A lot of people now are putting QR codes on their business cards or whatever information they're giving out. So this is great. You could scan my QR code, right? You could get my information, I could get your information, and then I'll know that you need a handout. So that would be a way to go. So just make sure so also the other little thing, I'll tell you a little secret. So on my business card, if you guys, they're here, I don't put my cell phone number on purpose. Because I want to, first of all, I don't want everyone to have my cell phone number. B, a voicemail, so they could actually send a message to my voicemail. And then I could say, C, I don't give my business card to everybody. I don't give my cell phone number to everybody. That's why it's not on my business card. So here, let me write it down for you, so you have it. So now it's more personal and complimentary. Everybody's going to get my little secret. Okay, so name tag situation. So I know not everybody wears name tags, so we have some solutions here for you. So buttons are very popular. So if you don't want to wear a name tag, you could wear a button. They're now very popular. And it can represent what you're doing or what you're involved in. So someone will say to you, oh, what's that? What's that button you're wearing? So it's almost like a name tag, but not really, because it gets the person to start talking to you. And you can wear it everywhere. The drugstore lady will help you. So anyways, if you want to let people know what you're involved in. So I was involved in the 150-year anniversary of South Bend. And so I want people to know that I was involved in that so people can ask. Also, there's these cute little boys or girls can buy these that you can put your business card or your name here and you could hook it so it could be like a piece of jewelry. So you could do that too. Or you can use a name tag someone else gave you. So this is the McCluskey competition. I'm very proud of myself because I was in this. So I might be wearing this around. And then people go, oh, what's a McCluskey? What is this McCluskey? So it's a good way. You're wanting to start the conversation. That's all it is, a name tag, is starting the conversation. And then, so I think I'll just wear this. Okay, we got, and then I added this, Scott Ginsburg. So Scott had a thing going around 2010. I think it was around then where he had a blog. Blogs were pretty new back then, and it was called "Hello, my name is Scott." And I always talk about this because it really changed the way I think about things. So he wore a name tag that said, "Ask me." That was it. And actually, ask me. So he just wore it everywhere. Ask me. And he would say, what am I supposed to be asking you? So what did that give him an opportunity to say? Hello, my name is Scott. Or he made a button that said, hello, my name is Scott. And then people would read it back to him. Hello, my name is Scott. And he'd say, oh, your name is Scott too? What is that? So he tried, and I actually didn't realize he still has his website up. So right here, Scott Ginsburg, that's one of his websites. It's pretty amazing what he's done with that. Hello, my name is Scott. He's worn it for 8,000 and something days now. That's how long it's been going on. And he's very famous now, so you might want to look it up. But I love that he did that. All right, 3. So introducing people. So how to do introductions. This is always kind of trips you up too. How do you introduce people? So basically, this is how you do it. And so you're basically doing is setting up a conversation between two people when you're introducing two people. So what you want to do is kind of an etiquette around it. So the first part is to tell two people you want to introduce them. So you could do it in writing. You could do it in a text between two people. You could do it in an email between two people. We could meet two people and I say, I want to introduce you to each other. And so the first part is to decide how to work that out. So to follow etiquette, you introduce the younger person to the older person. Okay? So, I just did it on the phone Zoom the other day. I said, hey, Ronnie here. So I wanted Ronnie to meet Steve. So we did it on Zoom. I said, hi Ronnie, this is Steve. Steve, I said, Ronnie, I want to introduce you to Steve. This is what Steve does. So Steve's older than Ronnie, but let's say you don't know he's older. What you could say more experienced. So the more experienced person gets the honor of being introduced to the least experienced person. So that's kind of how you do it. So then you set it up. So now you say, hello, Ronnie, I want you to meet Steve. Steve, I want you to meet Ronnie. Okay, Steve, tell Ronnie about yourself. Okay, Ronnie, tell Steve about yourself. And then I said, the reason why I'm connecting you is because of this third thing. Now they're talking to each other. So that's what introductions are all about, and that's how it looks in words. So let's talk about personal space a little bit. Okay, so this is critical.
Oh boy.
Okay, I need a volunteer to come up here. Anybody volunteer? It's easy. Come on up. It's not going to ask you to do anything. Come on, I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to hold the end of this. So, hold this. So has anybody been to the mall where there's I don't know if they do this anymore, where they're selling things and people from another country is selling something?
Yeah.
Right. So in the United States, we have the furthest distance of personal comfort than any other country. So if you're speaking to someone from another country, just know their personal space is a lot closer. Like sometimes I'm thinking when I'm at the mall, this person's pretty hot, trying to sell me this whatever skin cream, and they're like this. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So anyway,
Your skin's good.
right. So anyway, let's start. So let's look at it. Okay, we're going to start here. Intimate zone, 8 inches. So you stand right there, don't move. Okay, that's this. So if we're intimate, this is how close we would be. Look at me like we're talking. Very intimate, okay?
Oh, wow.
Just letting you know, if you're from the United States, don't do that. Personal zone, what is this, 5 feet, 8 inches. What is this, how far personal zone? What do you think? You guys tell me to stop. Okay, here we are at 8 inches. So I'd say like right
That's
here.
pretty far.
That's pretty far.
Pretty far, we're talking closer, I think maybe like this?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe like this. So we're like, good? Okay, and then social zone is really, we don't really know each other. You'll see this at networking events, people almost screaming at each other. And then how do you know someone's like getting into your zone? So walk towards me. Oh. Have you done that? Okay, I'm just saying, just know that. And then public zone is a lot. So that's basically what this, thank you very much for volunteering, you're very brave. Okay. So, keep it in mind. Then your elevator speech versus your story. So these are two completely different things. So it's important to know where to use each. There's a place for all of it. So if you're in a networking event, not like this one, but like a BNI or like a chamber or something like that, it might be more appropriate for you to talk your kind of old school, which is kind of like a little commercial. What do you do? Oh, well, I founded a nonprofit organization that helps women entrepreneurs who are in domestic violence situations or low-income neighborhoods. That's what I do. That would be my little 60-second speech, which is sometimes includes a catchy slogan, so I could add, you know what, for mentorship, entrepreneurship, and health and wellness, so it's like a little more catchy, or like Nike, just do it, right? That's the thing. And then also you want to make sure you're very polished when you do that, so you want to practice it. That's very important. And you want to keep 60 seconds or less, so it's actually sometimes referred to as an elevator speech. It would be what you would tell someone riding up 8 floors in the elevator, or you could just time it to the TV, like 1 60-second commercial, not 7, okay? And so then the next side of that is telling your story. And that's what we talk about in One Run the Cups. Let's hear your story. Because if you don't tell me your story, then why don't I just go on Amazon? I mean, listen, I don't hear the Amazon story when I'm going to buy something there. I just go there, buy. As a matter of fact, the least they say to me, the more I like it. Like, I don't want a video telling me about that product. I don't want a sale telling me. I just want the product. I want it tomorrow, right? It's Amazon. So if I'm going to buy from you, you have to be not Amazon. So what makes you not Amazon? You. So I want to know, what's the story behind the story, right? So the reason why I started a nonprofit organization is because I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to give women entrepreneurs who didn't have access to the resources that I know about. And if I don't know about them, I will know about them. That's the story. I wanted to lock arms with women who in low-income neighborhoods, show them the way. That's the story. Okay, that's in a nutshell, all right? So that's the story. So then, which is what? My why. Why am I doing it? Okay, then the next piece is your business story. So the problem I saw was, I didn't know how to network. I didn't even know what it was about, but I knew it was working for a lot of people. So I wanted to know all about it. That's the problem. What's the solution? I taught myself, and then I taught a whole lot of other people how to do it too. And in the meantime, I became a book author, which I always wanted to be, but never could do it before. So I learned that's the business story, okay? So remember, you need to have a personal story and a business story. And if you can, whenever you meet someone, tell them both. Do both, because that sets you apart from Amazon. It's a lot harder. Now they have to what? Remember who you are, remember what you do. They have to go look for your phone number. They have to find your website. They have to wait for you to call them back. I mean, and then sometimes you don't even deliver. But you still have to give people a chance, right? So remember that. It's really, you're trying to set yourself apart, not from other people of what you do, right? Not from another bank, right? Not from another marketing. You're trying to set yourself apart from Amazon. That's the thing. Does that make sense? All right, so small talk. Let's talk about how to talk to people. Like, what do you say first? That's always a thing. So this is what, when I talk to people about what to say first, and then actually I think there's some ideas on your worksheet. Basically, you're going to try to make it easy as possible. So how about, let's try transparent. And you always hear like authentic. What's that? What's authentic and transparent? Okay, so here it is. I walk into a room, there's all these people, and there's always like some people along the wall, there's always some people grouped together, maybe some people at tables like this. So what do? You want to meet the person who's sitting next to you. So how about this? I love it in 2025. Because guess what? You get to be yourself. This is who you are. So you could say, hey, you know what? I really kind of hate these networking events because I don't really know anybody. I feel a lot of pressure. What about you? How about that? Or I'm really shy, or I feel like I'm an introvert, so I really don't know what to say. What do you say? Oh, come on, let me introduce you. The person, hey, listen, meet someone like me, I'll do all the talking. If people are standing around a room on the edge, they're also shy. So go talk to them because they're wishing somebody would come talk to them. If you see people in a group and you think they know each other, just go up there, wait for someone to stop talking, and go, do you guys know each other? I mean, now we're all talking. The key is to give, really. I mean, I could give you some pretty smooth things I used to say, but in 2025, you don't have to do that anymore. Just be you, right? That's all you got to be is you. And I think that kind of covers it. All right, so this, I want you to notice on this slide what not to talk about, okay? So we're going to go right over here. Don't talk about sex or anything that has to do with sex, any kind of sex communities, gender, whatever, like don't talk about that. It's very volatile conversation. Not everyone's going to be in for that, and some people are going to be completely out from that. And the people who are out from that are never going to be your customer now because they know you feel like something different. So don't talk about anything. And also don't talk about having sex Pictures, nothing sex, okay? Nothing.
You say pictures?
Nothing.
What kind of meeting is this?
I know. Okay, politics, woo, don't even go there. Pretend like you're what? Politic neutral.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just living in this country trying to make a living. That's all I'm doing. Whatever goes on in the White House or everybody else, whatever I have to say about it's not going to change anything. So my rule as 2025 is to only speak about what I can change. That's the thing. So if I can't change it, I'm not talking about it. And the third thing is religion. So don't ever talk about religion because people have beliefs about religion. So I think the best way to respect people's belief about religion is to just not talk about it. And if you are part of the ageism community, Dale Carnegie used to say, don't talk about sex, don't talk about money, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion. So I'm just saying, stay away from those topics. That's my suggestion. And here's why. Because everyone who disagrees with you is going to not do business with you. That's it. It's over. The whole community. And guess what? We're a bunch of networkers. So, man, information is like fire in a network. I say something that upsets someone, and, man, 45 people know about it. So just do yourself a favor and try to keep neutral, or only hang out with the people and network with the people that believe the same religion, the same politics, whatever. So that's what I want you to know. Then these are all the ways you can get into a conversation. If you want to be more slick, you could ask a thought-provoking question. That seems to be the trend. So if you want to be on trend for this, then you would ask something like, so, what have you accomplished this year in your business that you would like to share with me? Or how do you see things going in small business? Right? Something like that. Or you could, here. So you could read something that you think is interesting and bring it with you to whenever you meet with people. So I think this is interesting. Emergency savings are critical in a recession. Here's the dollar figure to aim for. I think people want to know about that. So I could say, hey, I read this interesting article, and here's what they suggested. What do you think about that? So if you wanted to be more thought-provoking, and if you find articles or news releases that you think would benefit somebody, so I would think, well, it would benefit me, but it would benefit somebody else, I would think, oh, guess what? Heather, she works at Northwest Bank, and she does a lot of things for 1 Million Cups and for the women entrepreneurs in our community. I think she would like this article, so I would send it to her. So she's not here, so I'm gonna send it right over to her. So now she's gonna think, wow, how did I get that paper in front of me? That's what she's really gonna think. So then the next thing to think about is how much time to network. So everyone talks about this. So if you knew you were gonna make $100 off of every person you met, how much time would you network? Or if you were gonna make $200 off of every person you met that you created a relationship with that went on over a period of time, how much time would you put into that? So some people go, oh, I don't want to spend that much time networking. So if you are that person, you just don't see the big picture, honestly. Because everyone who's ever come to one of 1 Million Cups since last January is someone who came because someone told them to come. That's the power of a network. And everyone in here, you can go up and meet just from this one day and never come back. But you come back next week and you can meet different people, because different people, some the same and some different. So we get that. So what they say is a quote, 6 hours per week will up your revenue by 47%. That's a lot. That's a lot. But think about it. Just think about it 1 minute. If you came here every Wednesday, that's 1, but 4 for the month. If you go to church every week, that's 1, but 4 for the month. Right? Do you go to your kids' sports? 1, but 4 for the month. I mean, you may already almost be doing that. You're just not working the time that you're there. It's interesting. Calendar. So quickly about calendar, like everybody, I think, pretty much uses your electronic calendar. I use that. I also am old school. I usually record in here. My calendar in my phone, the Google Calendar, is the one that I keep track of all my appointments. So if I've missed an appointment with you lately, I'm not totally efficient with it. But this is a desktop calendar, and what I do at the end of the month is I go back in here and I write down like the things that I need for taxes. Because this is like a chronological record. You can use it for your taxes. So I write down the days I do mentoring appointments, when I come networking. Like I also will record things I spend. Also, if you and I meet and I want to remember what we talked about, I'll write it down here. 7. So this is the most important thing, keep in touch. A lot of people don't keep in touch. So it's not like a hit and run accident. Networking is an overtime relationship. So the best plan is to create a plan for getting back to people, which is what is on your worksheet. There is actually week 1, week 2, week 3, it's like a plan. So that's the best plan. The not great plan is the one that you don't follow up with people and don't meet up. And then the kind of middle ground of that is you kind of do it. But honestly, what I do is my office desk is piled with stuff that I bring in from events. And every week I go through them and I'll look and see, who did I meet? Who do I want to meet again? Who did I say I get back to? And I try to keep meeting with people once a month, once every 2 weeks, whatever goal we're trying to accomplish with that meetup. So just remember, nothing is going to come out of nothing. So if you want something to come out of this, you have to do something. That's the key. So these are the other places that we network, in all these social medias. If you aren't on all these social medias, get on them. So if you can learn you don't know how to do it, find somebody in this room who knows how to set up a LinkedIn and ask them to help you, or go on YouTube. You can learn how to do everything there. So it'll teach you how to do it. So be sure and get on the main ones, which are Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And there's a way you can connect all 3 of them. So when you post on one, it does all 3. And I heard LinkedIn has some really great new tools on there. So you might want to investigate it, because it was more of a resume builder page, or like a holder of your resume. And now they're introducing some new tools that's supposed to help everybody, because they don't want to be that anymore. All right, so here's your key takeaways. They're on your worksheet. So here, I'll stand here so you can see. So the first thing is you want to have a name tag, or have a way where someone can get in touch with you or know who you are. A name tag or a pin or something like that helps you be approachable. Then business cards. So either have a business card. If you have a business card, make sure it's correct. If you don't have a business card, use one of the electronic business cards and become familiar with it, because they're very good. Business introductions, so you want to be sure. So any kind of introduction is better than no introduction, but if you want to follow etiquette, remember it's the person more senior to the person who's less senior, or the person who has more experience to the person who's less experienced. It doesn't have anything to do with girl, boy, or men, women, or nothing. It's not like that. It really is honoring the person who's more experienced. Also, conversation skills, learn how to ask questions. So if you're talking to someone and they say something and there's nowhere for you to go, you ask the wrong question. So, do you come here often? No. Okay, now what do we do? So do you network at this organization, or are there other organizations that you network with? Oh, well, I network with all these people. So test out your own questions and practice them ahead of time. Because when you're remember all of you who didn't want to do presentations? Every time you talk, you're doing a presentation. So plan for it. All right, so your calendar, you want to make sure that you're able to capture the dates, emails, phone numbers of the people that you're talking to, and then be prepared. So just like this was my little networking toolbox, you want to have your own networking toolbox. So if I were you, what I do when I'm doing a lot of networking is I actually put all the networking things together. So all I have to do is grab it and go. So if you have to look around for your business cards or try to find your phone or something like that, it creates a lot of anxiety around networking, and then you just don't even want to go because it's too much work. So just keep it all together. It makes it a lot easier. Let's see. I think that's about it. Oh, so this is me. Trying to figure out how to do that. That's what I always say. Remember, when you walk in, every opportunity is a networking opportunity. Oh, what happened to this? So weird how that happens, isn't it? I don't know. It was there earlier. So then this is how to get a hold of me, and this is the door prize. So I ordered 2 of these books, and we're going to give them away as door prizes. So who has the, this is almost 10:30. So who has the, everybody put your business cards in there?
Yep, everybody, if you didn't put a business card in, please feel free to get one out, and I'll walk around with the bucket.
And then for those who need to go at 10:30, I mean, you definitely can, go. If you have questions, I'm happy to stand up here and answer them, or we can meet individually, whatever you'd like to do. Because this is really important. I mean, this can mean a lot of money to you. And I mean, I've recruited like all the students I've had for the mentoring program through networking. Like all the people who come to events like we had last night at the bank, thank you for that, was all met through networking. Like that's really my, peeps. Okay, so
Let me.
don't look. And this is on Amazon, believe it or not. It's still good. Timeless.
Ready? Don't look. Okay. No, not that one. Just kidding.
There you go.
All right, Mia Dickens. Where'd she go?
She left reroll.
All right.
Okay, next.
Okay, next. Don't look. I saw you peeking. Okay, good.
I just thought I'd take it back.
All right, Laura Wilson. All right.
Oh,
yay.
there you go.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. So you can turn out the recording.
Okay, I'll do that.
So does anyone have any questions, or I'm happy to help you with that.